We picked toys because we could do them. Like, that was at the outer limit of what was even possible.
Do them, and that you could depict them. They had shiny surfaces. Or...
Right. The skin has kind of a translucent thing, and if you don't get that right, it looks like you're made out of clay.
Okay.
So, or plastic. But if they're plastic toys, then it's okay to look like you're made out of plastic.
Indeed.
So that helps. So that was a conscious decision on our part. And I think one of the things that differentiated us at the beginning, which we then worked hard to maintain, is the technology is not the goal. It really is to make a great movie.
Okay, that was Ed Catmull, president of Pixar Animation Studios, talking at yesterday's All Things D10 conference with Kara Swisher of All Things Digital. We also had Dan Gallagher there from MarketWatch, and he joins us now on the phone to tell us more about what Ed Catmull said. Dan, fascinating guy, some great insights there. What else did you learn from him?
Well, it was interesting because Ed Catmull does not really give a lot of media interviews. I actually know this for a fact because when I first moved up to the Bay Area and I was working for a newspaper, way before Pixar was owned by Disney, I was actually trying really hard. He sounded like a fascinating guy to talk to, and I was not able to get that, and I was told he didn't really grant that many interviews. So to see him, especially on stage in public, to do that was pretty interesting, and to get a little bit of insight into both Pixar and Disney, and a little bit into the world of the late Steve Jobs.
Now, he talked about, he says that Pixar has a lot of smart people at the company, and sometimes there are things going on not visible to people. They don't see the screw-ups. But you have to look for things you can't see. And I've seen that around Twitter, look for things you can't see. What did he mean by that?
Well, I think he was talking about the, rather than just solving the problems that become really obvious and that have to be solved, to look to essentially prevent yourself from being surprised. And one of the most interesting things he talked about was he called them screw-ups. This is pretty much all the company's movies have made a lot of money, but he classified a few of them as screw-ups in terms of they got pretty late in the production process when they realized they had to really pull back and redo the story because it wasn't working. Toy Story 2 was a big example of this when, less than a year before their release date, they kind of replaced the director and the creative team and redid the story, and they felt it wasn't working. And what he classified is that our willingness to pull the plug late in the game is actually a point of pride with us now.
And a point of pride with good people. He said if you give a good idea to mediocre people, they'll screw it up. But if you give a mediocre idea to good people, they'll fix it or throw out and start again. And I guess he's getting to the throw it out and start again. That's something they really embrace at Pixar.
It is, and it was actually an interesting read-through also with Apple. That was one thing that Apple is known for, at least Steve Jobs is known for, is a willingness to really late, almost when a product is rolling off the production line, that he was willing to actually kill it or put off the launch if he felt something really wasn't perfect. And so you could see that, it's hard to see, did Steve Jobs bring that to Pixar, or were the people at Pixar kind of naturally inclined to think that way anyway, and that's why they got along so well. But, it was an interesting, association between those two companies who were, for a while, being run by the same guy.
Now, we also, at the All Things D conference out in Rancho Palos Verdes, we had Mark Pincus of Zynga talking, and here's what he said.
I'd say that it's been, just like Facebook was this amazing accelerator for play on the web, mobile is that for play way beyond the web. So the three drivers of our business and market are games becoming more free, more accessible, and more social. And mobile definitely hits on accessible.
So that was Mark Pincus of Zynga talking yesterday at the All Things D10 conference with Kara Swisher. Dan, you were there also for that. What else did you learn from Mark Pincus?
Well, he talked a lot about how, one controversial thing with Zynga is, are they going to have to buy their way into every new hit game just to kind of keep their traffic numbers up? They bought this Draw Something game that's kind of become a little bit controversial for them because people have raised this question, and the stock is down 60% over the last 3 months. What he said is that no, we're going to make games organically. We're not going to just buy hits. And really tried to spend some time talking about how they don't see their future as totally based on Facebook, even though right now that's where substantially all the revenue comes from.